What makes a game good? You could point to any number of things: tight balance, great integration of theme, unique mechanics, but one thing I don't see discussed enough, and something that I find has become more and more of a factor to me, is the delicate equilibrium between limitations and empowerment, and few handle that better than the somewhat ridiculously named Marco Polo II in the service of the Khan. As the title implies, this is a sequel, not a spiritual successor, not a re-implementation, no, a sequel to one of the most acclaimed Euro games to come out in the last few years. A game that I didn't like, and as a result, I had my first taste of backlash for a negative review as but a wee little reviewer in the early days of 2016. My specific points of contention, which I still stand by, were that while the game was polished and had potent asymmetry that felt really compelling, the game itself was too disempowering. Moving across the board felt like you spent every ounce of energy to scrape the camel bucket, then blow it out to do it again, without a real sense of accomplishment or a meaningful foothold that makes the next steps easier. Challenging, yes. Tight, exquisitely. Rewarding, not for me. And it's this that marks the chief difference between the new release and its predecessor. On the surface, it's much the same game. You move your merchant across cities throughout Southern Asia and the Middle East, collecting and spending camelids and what will forever be known in our house as sponges, butter, tiny poops, and the unique to this new game, jade, all in the name of the Khan. Resource generation and movement is handled through a dice worker placement system where actions take one or more dice in specific quantities and order, which may also affect the power of the subsequent action. And the major purpose of this is that you move your character throughout the map, spending resources as appropriate for each lane of movement, and you get one-time and recurring bonuses, contracts which can be fulfilled for points, and a myriad of other effects, and also points inherent to dropping your been here, done that marker in cities under different political influence. If you've played the original, this is going to look and sound so incredibly familiar that it's easy to mistake the two. But what Polo Trek 2: The Wrath of Khan provides is different avenues through which you can interact with the game, both figurative and quite literal. To start, there are 3 paths leading out of Beijing, and the cost of travel among each lane feels less punitive, allowing for more options for where you go and adapting your strategy to meet current needs. Furthermore, there are shortcuts amongst several of the locations that can be accessed if you join a guild, costly enough that it's unlikely that you'll invest in all 4 of the guilds, but can dramatically open up the board, encouraging different routes for you to pursue each game. And these guild seals, you can upgrade them to start gaining recurring rewards and access to more powerful actions at the cities affiliated with those guilds. So while it's still a game of resource exchange where everything comes at an important cost, be it camels or dice or opportunity, it gives you much more agency to choose how you approach it. Yes, you are extremely limited, but that limitation doesn't feel oppressive because you're empowered to make smart decisions to overcome them. And it doesn't end there. It has wild asymmetric abilities that each in their own right seems incredibly powerful, like a lady who just gets resources based on her rolls, or a dude that can just skip the little camp spaces between cities. What? Rather than laser focus you on a specific strategy, these characters smartly make you assess all the opportunities in front of you, and even those evolve throughout the game through the market, which remains mostly the same, but updates the costly jade exchange and city bonus locations every round. Whether it's the endgame bonus scoring via tags from having presence in cities under different influence that can be boosted through secret gold cards or guild seal rewards or other effects, or it's the various ways that you can collect and exchange resources, but always at meaningful cost, the game superbly understands the relationship between limitations and empowerment such that you never feel like you can do it all, but you always feel like you got options, and at least a few of them are good. And that small shift, adding a few more avenues of interaction but maintaining the tight, almost vice-like gameplay of the original, is what's so significant. If resources came too freely, if things didn't feel like they came at a cost, actions wouldn't be meaningful. But if it's so restrictive to the point where it feels penalizing, you lose agency, and it feels like you're railroaded into a strategy from the moment you begin. Yes, you can hone your efficiency, but it can suffocate the fun. Marco Polo II understands this so much better than its predecessor, and is easily one of my favorite economic Euros of all time. If you enjoyed this video, we have all kinds of other reviews, interviews, and recommendations via writing, podcasts, and video here on our channel and website cardboardherald.com. Our content is audience supported, so if you want to show your support, please visit our Patreon. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Cardboard Herald.